Well, Australia have managed to take a lead of 157. Jasprit Bumrah and Mohammad Siraj taking 4 wickets apiece. But Travis Head, yet again, proving to be the ultimate headache for India because 140 of the finest runs that you can get, India will now have to negotiate a very tricky twilight and night period at the Adelaide Oval. New pink ball, Mitchell Stark, Pat Cummins, Scott Boland, and later on in the equation, if you look at flat batting conditions on day 3, day 4, you've got Nathan Lyon also in the mixture now. But Travis Head's brilliant knock today, combined with Marnus Labuschagne in 64, has given Australia the driver's seat here in Adelaide. I mean, India, let's face it, for the first time in this series, are facing a monumental task here.
I think we talked about this even yesterday, and this is exactly what we were expecting after what had happened on day by the end of day one, Australia losing just 1 wicket. When they came out to bat today, I think the conditions had eased out much more. I think they would have chosen the heavy roller to begin the day to just flatten the batting conditions even more. The ball wasn't new anymore. It was sort of getting oldish, but we know with the ping ball, it stays hard for a longer period. So and then also the sun beating down. I think the Australian batters totally used the conditions to the fullest. And Travis and we were only hoping for a great display by the bowling team. That was the only way. I thought that the Indian team would make a comeback, but again, what we pointed out yesterday as well, only a Jasprit Bumrah is not somebody who can run through a batting lineup after each game. After each game, the Indian team cannot be scoring 170 or 180 odd runs and keep expecting that the oppositions will also bundle out for that score, especially with a bowling lineup that is not that experienced in Australia. The bowling lineup that's at least playing out there. Harshit Rana seemed absolutely off the mark. His bowling, be it he did definitely change his plans today. I think he was not that short to begin with. He was trying to bowl a little over. He was trying to get closer to the wickets. He was trying to do that. He was going a little fuller as far as his length was concerned. But again, the lines weren't right. He was giving too much weight to somebody like a Travis Head, to a Manas Labuschagne, and that's exactly what both of them exploited. The conditions were so flat. There was no lateral movement, bounce we saw. There was no scope for that as well, and that I think was exploited very well by Travis Head, especially when he sort of took on the game. He started scoring those runs, quick fire runs later in his innings.
Well, looking at it, see, Australia really had their backs to the wall because Bumrah was bowling very, very well. McSweeney gone, Steve Smith gone. But in these kind of situations, only when you look at it, Travis Head steps up. I mean, Australia still had not wiped out the Arrears. Labuschagne was in top form. Head, when you look at it, he stabilized Marnus Labuschagne, when you look at it confidence-wise and all the other things. And that is the main reason why they could continue on. Head in particular, that six that he hit on Ravichandran Ashwin, he signaled his intent that yes, he was not going to just hang around and get beaten and survive. Like how Nitish Reddy did. He just employed attack, but he also managed to ensure that yes, he attacked sensibly. When he raced through the 80s, when he raced through the 90s, plus there was also another worrying sign. Jasprit Bumrah was having a bit of an injury issue. Initially, it was reported it was a shoulder. Then he was kind of holding on to his adductor muscle, but then he continued bowling. He got the wicket of Pat Cummins, but there are injury concerns slowly creeping up for Jasprit Bumrah.
But that exactly would have happened, Sidvi, because the kind of bowling pressure you were going on and giving Jasprit Bumrah, because as soon as you took him off the attack, the Australian batters started to take on the attack, started to score runs at a very quicker pace, and that's exactly when you had to get in a Jasprit Bumrah again and again with very short breaks. You usually use him in bursts, but that wasn't the case because your bowling wasn't being effective. I think Ashwin, Travis had played Ashwin really well. He used his feet, reach to the pitch. He did not let Ashwin up settle at all, and he continued to score runs against him. And I think that was another reason why Ashwin also wasn't very successful as we would have expected him to be.
Yeah, I mean, today, let's look at it. The only two bowlers who had success, although Mohammad Siraj, yes, he was also lacking a bit of that penetration early on. Towards the end, he made it up. He got 4 wickets, but then he didn't maintain the pressure as much as. And you could also say that two missed chances of head that could prove to be costly, because one, that dropped catch by Mohammad Siraj, of course that was a tough catch, running back it is always difficult. But then the other one, Rishabh Pant, I mean, yesterday he dived across in enthusiasm and denied that catch to Rohit Sharma. Today he just didn't go for it, and Rohit Sharma was like, okay, what do I do now? So those two chances were really going to hurt India. We are going to have a detailed post-match show that is going to be there. Lots of talking points. Heads knock in particular, fantastic. Mohammad Siraj's behavior, I mean, that is going to raise a lot of question marks. Will India be able to survive this testing period? I mean, I know that one of our family members were like saying that Akshay Kista, I hope Indian openers give 157 run opening stand. Then only we can think of winning this test. Well, it's optimistic, but also understand one thing: opening partnerships with the pink ball are rather tough because you're battling in twilight, and this is the period which is the most difficult when you have to look at it. So, a 157 run lead, Australia would ideally want 3-4 wickets by the close so that they can be in the driver's seat tomorrow at this point. But then now, this twilight period, now the time is currently 2:52 IST, which is 7:52 there. From now until the next 128 minutes, India really have a fight on their hands now. So it's not going to be easy. And Shubman Gill, Yashasvi Jaiswal, KL Rahul, Virat Kohli, it's up to the top to ensure.
I think it's going to be a very, very big ask from the Indian batters, because we talked about this leading into this test match as well, that whichever team manages to get to 300 first, I think that team will automatically be way ahead in this test match, because coming back from there, I think it's going to be very tough. I think India lost the advantage of batting first, having won the toss. The Indian batters, if they would have managed to get to about 200, 250, I think the game would have been in a very, very different situation. The Australians would have approached the score very differently. They would have sort of played very differently. Maybe a Travis Head would not have been able to attack this much if India had a little more, little runs on the board more, because then they would have gone first to finish their trail and then sort of go towards the lead. Now, because the score was so less, they sort of ran through the for the lead.
Yep. So we are looking at Mitchell Stark warming up at this stage. And let me tell you just one more thing, all the things about innings defeat, changing of team and all that. We'll only wait after the end of the Adelaide Test match. Until then, it's all very, very premature at this stage. More comments we will take once the post-match show begins at 5 p.m. Do join us for that. And the one question that I have to have, Travis said, Chancellor's now cool pineapple. No, totally disagree.
Two chances.
There were two chances. Yeah. So we'll be joining you for a lengthy post-match discussion for about an hour. So the full panel will be there. So join us for that. The second innings is about to begin for India. So thank you so much, folks, for joining us. Subscribe to Sports Today for all the latest news and analysis. And don't forget, we're on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram as well. And don't forget to download the Sports Talk mobile app. Bye-bye.